Pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
Tony, can you take us from roll call, please?
Mayor Hyde,
Present.
Counselor Johnson,
Present.
Counselor Quigley,
Present.
Counselor Henderson,
Present.
Counselor Jecka,
Present.
Okay, we'll be starting out tonight with the mayoral update. I typically don't like to read them, but this one is a little more lengthy than I normally do. And I want to make sure that I don't miss any of the points that I have on here, so I will be reading it. Late last summer, early fall, the council restructured our council meetings to incorporate more input from the residents of Rice Lake. Since that time, as we're adjusting to those changes, I feel that our meetings have become more disruptive and at times non-productive and combative. I take responsibility for not taking more control of the meetings when this type of behavior has occurred, and I will make every effort from this meeting forward to change that. I feel we've lost sight of what our council meetings are meant to be, which is a meeting for the council to conduct the business of running our city. These meetings are not open forums, nor are they question and answer periods, and they especially are not town hall meetings for airing complaints and grievances. They are meetings for the council to do council business for the city. All conversations, whether it is a council member or a resident, will be civil and respectful. Derogatory comments, angry accusations, name calling, etc. are not appropriate and will not be allowed. Anyone not following this rule will be warned one time. If the behavior continues, the person will be asked to leave. You expect the council to treat you with respect. The council has the right to expect the same from anyone attending these meetings. As has been stated several times since our meeting restructure, all comments from the audience must be made from the podium once the individual has been recognized by the mayor, and only then. At the podium, you must state your name and address. You will be given 3 minutes to state your comment or comments. When that time is up, you must sit down whether you are finished with all you want to say or not. So come prepared. No one in the audience may speak unless they have been asked to the podium by the mayor. The audience is here to observe and to give their opinion at the podium when asked. There will be no comments made by the audience to anyone at the podium. There will be no comments made at any time by the audience unless you have been asked to the podium. I hope this is finally clear. If you have a sidebar issue that you would like to discuss with a neighbor, you will leave the room and talk quietly in the hallway or outside the building. Basically, if you are seated or standing in the back of the room or on the side, you may not speak. You must remain silent and simply observe. Anyone not following this rule will be warned once. A second occurrence will result in removal. If you have an issue with the services you are provided or anything else regarding the city's performance, your first step should be to contact city staff for resolution, not bring it to a council meeting. If you do not get the information or solution that you need, then it is appropriate to bring it to council. Council is not to be your first stop. If you have tried to resolve your issue with city staff and want or need council to be involved, you can either email the council directly or ask for your issue to be reviewed, or bring your issue to City Hall no later than 3:30 p.m. the day of the council meeting, and it will be put on the agenda. If it is not on the agenda, it will not be addressed at the council meeting. If you have an issue with any member of city staff, your concern should be made to the direct supervisor. In the case of City Hall staff, that is Tony Bloomdahl, city administrator. If it is with one of the public works staff, your contact is Shane Downey, our public works supervisor. If you do not get a response that satisfies you, then contact either Councilor Jecka or the mayor, me. We are the members of council responsible for human resources. We will investigate any claim of misconduct, and if we find discipline may be necessary, we will bring it forward to the full council. If your issue is with either Tony or Shane, bring it directly to Council Jecka, or to me. And we will investigate, and if we find discipline may be necessary, again, we will bring it to complete council. If your issue is with the council, contact the state. A city council meeting is not the place for these issues and absolutely will not be heard. This is the last time I will outline acceptable and unacceptable behavior at city council meetings. From this point on, I will simply enforce it. I want to say that I know there's a lot out there on social media about how corrupt and power crazy and manipulating that I and many of the council and city staff are. I'm not going to respond to the many accusations. They are based on half-truths, manipulated to support the grievances of certain individuals, or based on incomplete or incorrect statements. I will say that I and this council do the best job that we can, and I totally believe in the honesty and integrity of every single person on this council as well as our staff. This is not a full-time job for any of us on council. We all have other full-time jobs, well, except for Councilor Quaid. And we have families that we take time away from to serve Rice Lake. We don't expect accolades for that. We signed up for it because we feel strongly that we can make a positive difference for Rice Lake, and we are willing to do the work and make the sacrifices to make that happen. You may not agree with everything we do, but you can be assured that every decision we make together, and the decisions we make are made for what we believe is for the betterment of Rice Lake. If you don't like what we do, get out and vote in November and put someone else on the council that believes the way you do. That is, if you can find someone that is willing to put in the significant amount of time necessary to do the job and not just complain on social media. Now, on a more positive note, I would like to recognize the exceptional performance of two of our city departments, our Public Works Department and our Fire Department. Last week, we had the worst snowstorm of the season. I believe it was actually classified as a blizzard. I was out in it and it was nasty. Our public works staff were out in the early hours to get as many roads as possible plowed before people had to get out to work or whatever else they had to do. And in 10 hours, had every Rice Lake road plowed. Some had even been plowed twice during that time. Great job, guys. I would put you up against any other municipality in the area. You don't just get it done, you get it done exceptionally well. But no matter how early you start plowing, some roads will not be plowed in time for some events. We had one such event on Wednesday morning. A Rice Lake resident had a critical surgery scheduled on Wednesday, and the road the resident lives on was not plowed in time for transport to the hospital. A family member dialed 911, and the dispatcher called our fire chief to find out if they could help. And of course, he said yes. Next thing you know, our people were using our UTV with tracks to get down the unplowed road and back out to where the transport was waiting to bring the resident to the hospital. May not seem like a big deal, but it sure was to that resident and to her family. I only know about this because I was also at the hospital with a friend that I brought in for surgery Wednesday morning, and my ears perked up when I heard someone in the hallway praising the Rice Lake Fire Department for making it possible for their family member to get to the hospital for a much needed surgery. I can tell you the family member was extremely grateful for the help given to the resident from our volunteer fire department members. I'm very proud of the job our volunteers do for our community. I was out in that mess Wednesday morning for a friend. They were out there for someone they didn't even know. Again, I would put them up against any department in the state as well. Sincerely, Mayor Hyde. Next item on the agenda is meeting format. Reason I bring this up, I would like us to take a look at how the new format is going and if perhaps we need to make any changes to make it run more smoothly, to do things better. A couple of the things that I'm looking at is the stackable 3-minute time given. I've talked with a couple of the other mayors in the area. None of them do that. If there is a couple of people that want to talk about one item and it is longer than the 3-minute time period, they both go up, they both speak. The first one gets the first 3 minutes, the second one gets the last 3 minutes. Is that something we want to consider? The other thing is our public discussion has always been for any items not listed on the agenda. I'm not sure why it was started that way. And I know we allow time now in our meeting format for people to talk about issues that are on the agenda. But do we want to open up public discussion for that as well? Council?
So first of all, we're just looking at gifting someone's 3 minutes if they wanted to give it to somebody else. You're saying the other mayors don't do that?
I only talked to 2 mayors in the area. They don't do that. It's 3 minutes a person.
Cause you could stack 10 people and they could be up there for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So I think 3 minutes is, for each person.
Can't hear you.
3 minutes is suitable for each person is what I'm thinking.
My opinion is I'm okay with people stacking minutes, but I do agree, I do think there should be some kind of reasonable limit on it, right? But, 30 minutes is obviously too much, but 9 minutes, something like that. Because I think the whole idea behind stacking minutes was if we had 10 people here who wanted to talk on the same subject, we could potentially have one person come up and speak for them at the same time, right?
That was the intent.
Maybe hasn't always worked that way. That's my thoughts on the 3-minute thing. And then my thoughts on the public comments in the beginning. I kind of like that people can come up and bring things up that aren't on the agenda, right? But they could also reach out to us ahead of time and ask us to put it on the agenda.
Right now, we don't allow, if it's on the agenda somewhere else, it can't be brought up in public discussion. Do we want to keep that or not? Do we want to open it up for anything?
I think if we're gonna do that, people should know if there's gonna be public discussion on the agenda item ahead of time. So they, you know what I mean? So if there's not gonna be a public discussion on it, I do think they should have a chance to come up and speak on it before.
You talking to the mic? Can't hear you.
Sorry. I was just saying that for the public input period, we're talking about if we had, in the past, we haven't allowed people to talk about other items on the agenda. And so what I was saying is that if we're going to allow them to talk about, I think we should allow them to talk about things on the agenda that there won't be a public input option for later on in the meeting. Could you hear me okay there?
A little bit.
Can we turn the volume up? Like I'm talking normally. That's all I got.
Councilor Henderson?
If we don't gift the 3 minutes to other people, I think if we are gonna gift it, I think there's gotta be some sort of limit. So we're not getting 10 people at 3 minutes and having someone speak for 30 minutes on a subject. And I do think we do need public discussion on items as well. And so, where do we put that? Is that only on the first readings? Is it on the second readings? How do we want to address that? I think we do need to look at that because I think there should be some public input on it. They're always welcome to email us as well. But I would like some public input on a lot of these items before we make a motion and vote on them.
Well, currently, I do ask for input on every item.
So if we do that, then I'm okay with them not discussing it during the public discussion timeframe.
I agree with both, Councilor Jeca and Hendrickson, both, for stacking them, fine. But limiting it. 3 or 4, whatever number we might come up with. As far as the open discussion, I like it the way it is now. If there's an item on the agenda, we'll address it as we go through the agenda. That public discussion, I think, should be important. Whatever is on someone's mind.
I agree with Councilor Quaid on allowing the public to speak. That's what we're here for, is to listen. I'll backtrack and say, we can stack minutes one time for a total of 6 minutes.
Okay, so Counselor Johnson suggesting 6 minutes. Anybody have other thoughts on that?
So if someone donates time to stack 6 minutes, then it's just those 2 people that can't speak again on the subject, right? Other people will still have the opportunity to.
Unless they're all saying the exact same thing. We've always had that. We got a number 6 thrown out there. Do we have another number?
Our old policy used to be 5 minutes, correct?
Correct.
So I think 6 is plenty.
Okay.
Normally people will go beyond that anyways.
True.
Still having problems hearing you.
You can move to the front if you'd like.
I don't think that's gonna matter.
Okay.
He's talking to the microphone.
It doesn't seem like those 2 microphones are on,
No.
like yours sounds on, yours sounds good.
You probably hear me better.
I'm just a lower mouth.
I don't know
Can
why.
you hear here?
Women usually are. It seems like the guys' microphones are. Yeah, because even when you move yours, you can hear it. When they move theirs, you can't hear it. I couldn't hear.
Oh, now we can.
Yeah, oh, now you can.
Check in.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
You got a mayor override button there?
You caught me.
Can you hear us okay now, sir?
Yeah, much better, much better.
Good.
Thank you.
All right, we've had conversation. Looks like conversation is kind of dying down, so I'll take a motion on how we want to proceed on this.
I'll make a motion to allow 1 stack of minutes, 3 extra minutes.
What's that?
I'll make a motion to allow 1 stack of 3 extra minutes for a speaker that does not want to speak and allow for public discussion. So max 6 minutes.
Kind of back to the conversation. I guess I just want to clarify, like, if 2 people stack their minutes. I guess my concern is then I don't want us to then limit what other people, you know what I mean? I want everybody to have their chance to speak. So if 2 people stack their minutes, I don't want that to just be the end of that topic, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
If they have other items to share on that topic, absolutely.
Okay.
All right, so we have the motion for 6 minutes max for a stack. I'm unclear on what the motion is stating regarding what can be discussed at public discussion. Yes,
Hi, Laurel Mellon, 4225 Gothenburg Road. You had back in July, I don't know if you recall, when you started the 3 minute, we had kind of discussed already the 6 minute stack and everyone was in agreement. My only concern with the limiting, if additional people feel the same way, I think it might be helpful for you folks, like with the Schultz Road, with the fire stuff, where you had a room full of people, just even like a show of hands, like, okay, we don't want to hear any more of the same opinion. Can I at least get a show of hands of how many of you feel the same way? So then you guys know that it's not just two people, you get a proper representation of how people, you know, the
Yeah.
feel of the room, I guess.
I like that.
I
I think
like,
that's a good idea.
I like that a lot.
Just that way everyone doesn't have to, you don't have to listen to the same thing for long, but you get an idea of how people are feeling.
I like that.
Thank you.
Yes.
Lisa Walls, 3861 West Kisher Road. You guys follow Robert's rule for the most part. And I did look up today some interesting information that Robert's rule does yield or does let yielding happen for the staffing that you're talking about. It doesn't limit it, but I see what you're saying of 30 minutes, you know. But I also think sometimes too, that if you stack, say, 3 of them together, you get 10 minutes, it's all done. And then you're not getting this person and then these 2 people and then, you know, because if people come together as a group and say, okay, we're gonna have Lisa do her speaking for us, you know, 3 stacks, so 9 minutes, it can usually be done. So, but just looking at Robert's rules, they do allow for yielding to give your time to someone else.
Thank you, Lisa. Yes, Tara.
Here, I'll share 4802 Arnold Road. In reference to what Daryl said, it used to be 5 minutes, so if somebody would have yielded then, you would have had 10. So I think 9 is an appropriate number when you're working with trees. So that's all I had.
Thank you.
No, I guess I'd be okay with 9 if then we just kind of did a show of hands so that we could understand that there are more people, with those same views. I do think we need to limit how much time there is, but I mean, I'm okay with listening to 9 minutes of someone sharing how they feel on a city topic, so.
I support 9 with the show of hands as well, and but just again, you know, I don't want to make you beat a dead horse here. I don't want to close off discussion on the topic. You know, I want to share their viewpoints as well if they're different.
Yes, I agree. Councilor Clayton?
I would agree to 9 minutes. I think that's okay. We could try it. If it runs into problems, we can change that. But, I think in most cases, if there's a group of people that have the same idea that they're trying to get across, normally they're gonna have conversations between the group of them anyway. Great time to sort it out. Find a speaker or appoint a speaker and be heard that way. And I like that idea of who's in favor of this. Absolutely.
Councilor Johnson?
I agree with Councilor Floyd.
Okay. All right, looks like we have the time down. Now, what is allowed in public discussion?
I think it should be any item pertaining to city business, and that's kind of the key. It should be pertaining to city business. That there, or items on the agenda for which there will not be public input later. Is my initial thought.
Okay. All right,
If I could just point out one thing, if you look at the very top of the agenda, when we kind of changed our format, the public discussion comes after a motion. So in the agenda, I have now started adding in where motions are needed. So that's one way for the public to know, oh, they're gonna ask for a motion, so I should be able to speak during this time.
that was going to be my,
Yeah.
like, how do people know? You're right. Yeah,
And I can add more, like I can put motion, public comment, if you want that on there.
I think that'd be good to clarify like that. because we don't necessarily, it's kind of, is it, my understanding was there's the mayor's discretion on if we have public input before the vote, is that not correct? I mean, we generally do it every time anyways.
Yeah, I mean, the mayor runs the meetings.
And unless I forget, I do ask. Okay, could I get a motion then?
I will update my motion. We will allow 3 stacking up to 9 minutes. And we'll allow public discussion.
Well, we've always allowed public discussion. Can we narrow that down a bit?
Can I give it a shot?
Yes, please.
So for when we're, the motion, I'm making a motion that we limit the stacking to 3 people for 9 minutes, with a show of hands of support afterwards. And that public discussion items will be limited to, items related to city business that are not on the agenda or items on the agenda for which there will not be public discussion.
Beautifully put.
I second that.
That was great. Counselor Jeff made the motion, Counselor Hendrickson has seconded, all in favor, oh. Any further discussion from the audience on this? Wonderful, then, all in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion passes. I did not think that was gonna be that difficult. That was a hard one. Okay, now that we have all the rules, it's time for public discussion. Is there anyone that would like to get up and speak?
Gary Lindstrom, 4008 Schultz Road. And gonna take me 2 minutes. This is a thank you. A couple of weeks ago, we got together with Councilors Johnson and Quaid and Fire Chief Nemi regarding the firebox issue on Schultz Road. And we had another neighbor present and who's not here. But it was a very productive discussion. It was very positive in the way that we, the neighborhood, I'm speaking for our neighborhood, are willing to go with what was discussed as far as keeping a monitor on what the burns, what happens with the burns. When there's a complaint by a neighbor, it'll be addressed. It was just a real positive, give and take discussion, as well as, I think we're gonna effectively address the blight aspect of it, the fact that it is a detraction from the neighborhood. I think we all got on the same page of getting together in a few weeks and working with something that's going to work with the aesthetics of the property. So those two things were addressed, and I think that, for the most part, we're satisfied and looking forward to positively going forward and working with the city as, on a happier note, because we do feel that these training exercises are imperative to a good functioning fire department, great fire department that we've got. And so there's kind of an honor in being able to accommodate this aspect, as well as come to a compromise and working with a solution. The neighborhood does also feel at this time, just for the record, we'd still like the city to cease the acquisition processes of that back 5 acres, that it is not necessary. We discussed the use of the current property, and I feel that everybody involved is in agreement that there'll be less trees cut than what we were even considering, what could happen with just in the perimeter of the area. And that might be discussed, but I didn't see it on the thing. So that's where we stand, is a formal request for the city council to take up ceasing and not just pausing the acquisition of the extra 5 acres. Thank you. Mr. 30 seconds. But it's mostly a thank you. 3/4 of that was.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gary, for taking the lead on that.
Thank you, yeah.
Can everybody hear me in the audience as council?
Yes.
Okay. If I need to talk louder, you let me know. This is a continuation of, yes?
Name and address.
Oh, Bob, you get me every time. Teresa Koivula, 5189 Howard Guineason Road, and I am a citizen of the city of Rice Lake. Dear Mayor Hyman, I'm gonna read this so that I don't miss anything. Before John Werner passed, he told me to work on reducing taxes at the state and local level. And when he said that, I raised my eyebrows. I said, me? Well, little did I know that I would be doing just that. On Monday, February 9th, 2026, I spoke of a letter that was sent to Minnesota mayors regarding out-of-control spending. At that time, only 98 mayors had signed the letter in support of obtaining fiscal responsibility. As of today, 268 Minnesota mayors have proudly supported their residents by signing the petition. Sadly, as of today, your signature is not on there. These thoughtful mayors are coming together with deep concern and growing frustration about the fiscal direction of the state and its increasing impact on our cities and the residents that each of you serve. As a resident and taxpayer of the city of Rice Lake, I am happy to represent Rice Lake citizens with my voice. I know that when I was here last week and Mayor Heim, you interacted with me graciously, so thank you. You did indicate that you saw that letter, that you did not sign it, that certainly if council wishes you to do so, that you will. You indicated that personally you don't like petitions and that you've had meetings with both Senator Hauschild and Representative Natalie Zalesnikar to discuss your concerns with these issues. And that's how you chose to typically deal with those types of things. You indicated that you deal with them personally. But if the council wants me to sign that letter, and then you said that you're gonna go a little out of protocol, which I appreciated, and you asked for a show of hands from the people in the audience. Well, that show of hands indicated that the majority of those people in attendance raised their hands for you to sign. Again, as of today, you haven't signed. And I know that you believe in petitions, Jamie, because during the February 9th city council meeting, you advised a speaker to obtain the necessary signatures on a petition separate from the Minnesota mayor's letter. Since the state and city budget is a critical annual topic that affects everyone in the city that you represent, I'm wondering why the Minnesota letter, the Minnesota mayor's letter hasn't been listed as correspondence received on any of the city council meeting agenda packets for discussion. I'm wondering why the letter hasn't been made public as it affects the entire city of Rice Lake and every one of its plus or minus 4,100 citizens. And according to the League of Minnesota Cities, yes. Time is up. I love that. Is anybody looking to finish? I have 2 paragraphs.
You can have mine for a minute.
Thank you, thank you. And, yeah. According to the League of Minnesota Cities, the weak mayor council plan, administrative as well as legislative authority, is the ultimate responsibility of the council as a whole. The weak mayor has no extraordinary power to individually make administrative decisions for the city. Yet you stated on February 9th, you chose to deal with the mayor letter personally. I find this to be insulting to those who never had a chance to give their voice on your decision that you personally made. You chose not to sign the letter in support of reducing taxes across the state and in this city. I don't understand why not. It only causes hardships. Why wouldn't you want to look at and uncover any potential fraud or excessive spending habits? I know that you have another job and you have family. I understand and I respect that. I also understand you get paid to be up there. It may seem minimal to you, but to the taxpayer, they're paying you. And to sign a letter doesn't take a lot of effort. It's the logic behind the effort to help reduce taxpayers throughout the state and in the city. And then lastly, I'm wondering if you made that personal decision not to sign that letter, and I respect your personal decisions, but this seems to be a broader decision rather than personal. And then in closing, thank you for your time to listen, for opening up public discussion. And I have one other question that's separate from this. Have you or anyone on council been involved with an unpublished closed meeting or serial meeting in the last year?
Can you clarify that?
A meeting that took place with a quorum of counselors in the last year that wasn't public or published, whether it was a serial meeting or a closed meeting where you were all in the same room, or whether it was through a text, email, or phone conversation. And you may not have that answer.
I do, well, I can speak for myself. Actually, I can speak for all of us. Yes, we have. But we announced it was a closed meeting. It took place after a city council meeting. It had to do with the potential misconduct of an employee, which therefore could not be discussed in an open meeting.
But that wasn't published. So it was a closed meeting, but it was published, correct?
I'm not sure what you mean by publish.
Announced to
It
the
was
public
announced.
that you were gonna have
Yes.
a closed meeting.
Yes. It was announced at the council meeting when we were closing it, and we disclosed why.
Okay, thank you very much.
And I do want to address the concerns you brought up about the letter. You're right, being that it is weak mayor, strong council. I should have brought it forth to council as opposed to making the decision on my own. I did not do that until you brought it to the last meeting. However, at that meeting, I did not get support from the council to sign that letter. I also, when I did the show of hands, there was not a majority that voted, that raised their hands. It was not a majority. If anything, it was a little towards the other way, but I considered it about a 50-50. At that point, I listened to council. Council did not encourage me to sign. Therefore, I'm not signing.
Did you talk about it that night? Because I didn't hear you, I didn't hear discussion. I didn't hear a motion.
What's that? Oh, yeah, if you're talking, you should be up here, but we did send her to sit down, you know.
Video.
Thank you for your questions, Mayor.
I did ask the counselors for their opinion on that.
But I didn't hear a motion on whether to sign it or not sign it. I didn't hear everybody speak on it. They questioned that they had not seen the letter and they didn't know what was in the letter. In fact, I think that came from Counselor Jeff, if I remember. Oh, did I use the mic?
No. Tony, do we need a motion on this?
I was asked to send the letter out to everyone, and I did email it the next day. And nobody asked me to put it on the agenda, so.
Do we need a motion though, as opposed to, I didn't do it, I didn't sign it, I mean, and I did not have any.
And I didn't really hear clear discussion on it last, I heard the one that they hadn't been aware of it, but I haven't actually heard you discuss as a council, as a member of this community. Why or why not? And that's what I'm interested, why or why not? Because it affects all of you up there. It affects people in Genesee.
The investigation of fraud certainly affects all of us.
Yes,
Definitely. That letter does not,
why?
because it's one mayor's opinion and he is trying to get other mayors to join in with his opinion. Every mayor can act individually.
Have you
Every
looked
council
into any of
member-
this, Amy? I'm done, thank you.
Okay.
If you have something to say, sir, you can come up to the podium or you can leave. I would just say that, you know, this isn't a cop out, but the letter, I did read the letter and it very clearly says in it that signing it does not represent the city, other councils or staff. The letter puts it very squarely on the mayor, so that puts us in a weird spot if we are going to talk about it. My opinion is it's not really city business.
Anyone else have a comment on this?
I read the letter. I wasn't aware of it at the last meeting, but I since then I've read it. I don't see the urgency in signing it right away. You know, legislature is back in session now. Take it for what it's worth. They promised us all kinds of working together and getting rid of the fraud, and we'll see how that goes, but the urgency to get your name on there, to be the first one to get your name on there, I don't see where that's beneficial at all. Give them a couple of months and see how things are looking down there, and then we can take another look at it towards the end of the session.
We can send our own letter.
Yeah.
Not somebody else's. Counselor Johnson.
I don't believe anybody on council supports fraud. I don't think we need to spend time signing letters. I support it either way. But I want to say it again. I don't support fraud at any level. I don't think our council does either. A letter is not going to change that. The state should.
Counselor Hendrickson.
I feel like couple of things. I feel like, I think we get audited every year. Is that correct? Right, so, if there is any fraud, it should get caught in an audit. My personal opinion is if we sign it, great. If we don't sign it, we're still getting audited. None of us believe in fraud. So in my mind, this is already something that we should be doing regardless. Because we are getting audited every single year. So this just puts it on paper that we are above reproach. I mean, if you wanted to sign it to say that we're above reproach, that's fine. But I mean, it's already a standard for us that we should not have fraud. I think all this does is re-exemplify maybe where we should be. So, I mean, if it's a big enough deal to people where we sign it, that's fine. I think we're already held to that standard.
Sounds like. No.
I've just got, just one more thing too. All of the signatures on there. One thing I did notice. In today's divided world. It just smells a little bit partisan, the whole letter. But there were no Ds or Rs next to any of those names. Just throwing that out there, but it seems like partisan politics at the state level. They're fighting down there. About everything, whether the sun is gonna shine tomorrow.
Okay. I'm not gonna say at this time. Okay, let's move on to the consent agenda.
I still have to, I haven't talked.
I'm sorry, Tony.
Sarah Alshire, 4802 Arnold Road. I just have a couple questions. In relation to this year being an election year, I've been looking in to see if we have a city charter, and I have yet to find anything. I'm curious if we can by the state law for our, or where do
We are not a charter city.
I understand that, but to get the rules and regulations for anybody that wants to run for office, you have to reference what? Because the ordinances aren't online. There's a small tidbit about our past elections. I've looked into our city website. I'm just curious where I would find that.
Tony, can you direct her where to look for that?
Sure, yep. If you go on to, MN Votes, there's a whole section on there that tells you how you can apply to file for any office throughout the state of Minnesota. We
Okay.
are a Class A statutory city.
Class A, thank you. That's what I didn't know. Class A statutory. Okay, so that was a question. And then, I was going over the data request admin report or the admin report with data request. And it says that, those numbers for the ones that were up there, those were processed. Does that mean they were completed during that month or were they tallied with the month that was on the data request? I guess it's,
Tony, you are the one that tallies those. How do you do it?
It is the request that were processed that month.
okay, so some of those, like those numbers aren't technically always the ones that you received during that month.
Correct.
So February might hit with all of December's extras. Okay, so that's like a past number. When an employee is involved in any type of criminal situation that suits an investigation, is there an investigation going on? I'm sorry, let me get to the point. There was an event that took place in the city of Rice Lake with a resident and one of the city workers. Is there an investigation going on?
I believe that there has been, yes.
There has been, so it's not going on anymore.
I don't know the status. Are you aware of the status of that?
I'm not.
But it was reported to the sheriff, right?
Yes. The sheriff.
So the city is not looking into it. The city is not doing an investigation.
We looked into it at the time. And we have given it to the sheriff's department.
Okay, so at the time that was a Thursday, did that employee get put on administrative leave?
No.
Okay, good to know. Also, in your mayoral report, it says that, people on social media like myself, I don't know if you know this, but I all have if anybody wants to go and find the Do Your Worst podcast. I'm a mom podcaster doing my best and, I'm advocating the truth. So this is an open, as public as you can make it. If I have posted something that is not true, and I brought this to your attention as I called you yesterday, please provide me with the truth. If you think that I am putting something out, 30 seconds left.
I'd be interested in this. I'd like to give her another 2 minutes for my satisfaction too, because,
Thank you.
okay.
The only thing that I have truly gotten as feedback is people are very interested. And I agree with you that it takes a lot for somebody to show up. That is something I want to work on. That's why I would like to encourage people to go out for counsel. And that's why I want to have the details to provide for them. But as far as providing mistruths, half information, I don't do that. Everything I've got is either a recording from that person's mouth, so you can't muddle that up, a data request from your city administrator or St. Louis County Sheriff's Department, or I guess screenshots of what people have actually said. So in reference to that, I'm telling you now, I have nothing to hide and I fear nothing. I fear nothing because I'm a good person and I tell the truth. So if you can give me something that I need to correct, I am humble and honest and human, and I will eat crow if I've messed up. I'm telling you this now. Please come to me if I've messed up. Thank you.
Thank you, Tara. Good to know. Robin,
Hi, my name is Robin Murphy. I live at 5785 Arnold Road. Mayor Heim, I've been working at City Hall for 5.5 years and have learned a lot about how local government works. Excuse me. I have a lot of respect for you and our city councilors for the sometimes difficult and unpopular decisions you have to make for the good of the city, its residents, and overall operations. As you mentioned, most of you have full-time jobs outside of this, and a majority, if not all of you, are also residents and taxpayers for the city. I have lived in Rice Lake for 62 years and have been a taxpayer for 41 of those. I have full confidence in our current council to do what is right with no concern of unethical practices by any of you. When I was hired, I knew nothing about being a utility clerk or working in government, but thankfully I was hired anyway. Under the leadership and mentorship of our city administrator, I quickly learned how to do my job while making sure I was following city ordinances and policies, state codes and statutes. Whenever I ask Tony a question about something I am unsure of, the typical answer is, what does the ordinance say? This is a requirement of all of us to know what can and cannot be done within our specific positions, including some crossover if we need to step in for someone. Our jobs are not always popular either, whether it's at City Hall or Public Works, but we do our best to work with residents and help them while following the guidelines required of us, and when possible, going above and beyond to find other options if we can't help them directly. There are a lot of great people in our city, and we enjoy helping and getting to know them. We have a terrific team and leader in Tony, who has an open door policy. We know we can talk to her anytime we have questions, ideas, or concerns. We work well together, respect, trust, and support each other. When you spend more time at work than you do at home, this is important. We are all dedicated to doing our jobs and doing them well. If we do make a mistake, we take responsibility, are held accountable, and learn from it. There is a misconception of not only corruption, but of power at City Hall. The truth is, as you know, the decision-making power is in the hands of the City Council as a whole. Not one person can make any major decisions. Staff can only present facts, suggestions, or recommendations for council's consideration. This is also true of the Planning Commission and the Fire Department. I feel we have trustworthy leadership and staff in all departments of this city, including council, along with terrific volunteers in our fire department, all of whom support and serve our residents. In conclusion, I want to say we are not the enemy, as a few have alluded to. We are here to do the jobs required of us, and Tony is one of the hardest working people I know and excellent at what she does. I hope she never chooses to resign. Losing her would be doing a great disservice to our city and its residents. In conclusion, I wish to see these meetings return to what they are meant to be for the council to conduct city business. I appreciate all your efforts to make that happen. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. So I don't miss anybody. Is there anyone else? Lisa.
I'll try to be short. Lisa Walls, 3861 West Fisher. So I totally respect what you wrote about how these meetings should be handled and the appropriateness and the conversations that should happen. My only question, and I don't expect an answer, but just a point to ponder of maybe you could later let us know. But if we're supposed to go to city staff for everything, now mind you, most of you are generally voted in. And so it's a constituent basis, and you want to do what's best for the city based on also taking into consideration your voters. So with that said, if a voter has something that they want to bring to you as a council member, I didn't really get that vibe that that was okay to do from what you wrote about how it needs to go with your city staff first. So do you, this is gonna sound so abrasive, and I really don't mean it to be, but do you care about what people think? And if so, how do you want people to let you know other than just when we come here and these are the options that we talk about. So just something to think about.
I can answer for myself, being that you are addressing my comments. When I was giving specifics on, for one, going to city staff, if you have a problem with your road, don't bring it to a counselor. We can't fix it. That's who can make that happen. I'm talking about things like that,
Sure.
you know, where it will be city staff that actually fix the problem.
Mhm.
If you have a problem that city, or that the staff can't take care of, then absolutely you bring it to me or to one of the other counselors.
Okay.
Does that,
It does. It just, wasn't getting that vibe. And I was like, well, if you care about what we all think as voters,
when it comes to
you want to
your,
hear from us.
when it comes to your opinions, staff can't do a thing about your opinions.
Right.
We can. So I guess it's who can fix it? If the staff are the ones that can fix it, that's who you go to
Right.
first. If we're the ones that will have to fix it, then you come to us first.
Okay.
That's pretty simple.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Is there anyone else? Okay, let's move on to the consent agenda. With the consent agenda, we have minutes. We have the January 29, 2026 performance evaluation for Justin Alshire, and I do have a comment about that in a minute. We have the February 9th, 2026 council minutes, and we have executed claims from February 10th, 2026 to February 23rd, 2026, totaling $50,861.61. Now, if you recall, at our last meeting, we had the performance evaluation for Justin Alshire on the agenda. Tara Alshire asked that we make changes to those minutes. I met with Tony after that meeting. We didn't meet specifically about that, but it came up during that meeting. Unless we quoted every word directly that Justin said, it was very disjointed and hard to follow. Being that we did not include in the minutes the findings from the HR committee verbatim. In fact, we didn't include it at all. Tony and I thought it best to just indicate that part of the agreement was that Justin would speak for 10 minutes and that he was given his allotted 10 minutes to speak. That is what the change is. Before we vote on this, Tara, would you like to make a comment?
Tara Alshire, 4802 Arnold Road. So you thought by taking what she had already typed like this and adding 2 sentences that were missed, specifically just pointing out the corruption.
We could not, he made hand motions. That's not something we're going to
I
put
have
in
it
the minutes.
recorded.
What?
We have it recorded, you have it recorded. I intentionally asked that we have it recorded for city record when people like, I don't know, I've been approached in the parking lot by Lynn Dean who said, I read the files. So when people want to inquire, I made sure that it was part of your files. So you have the files. It was not disjointed. It was 4 minutes, 11 seconds. He should have taken his 10. He's not a great public speaker, as he said.
It's okay.
So the part that I brought up was the elusive fact that it was completely written in a paragraph, missing only a certain portion. You took that and put it into one. Speaks volumes.
Always does. In my opinion and counsel, obviously this is a sore spot. So I'm not going to make the decision myself. Meeting minutes are meant to give record to the things that impact and influence council's decisions. In my opinion only. That was the full comment made by Mr. Alshire. Did not impact or influence the decision, therefore was not necessary. However, if you would like to put it all back in, that is certainly up to council.
I think my thought is we just do whatever, like when I look through other meeting minutes, it's kind of a summary of what people say when they stand up. And we should just be consistent with how we do it.
Thank you.
Summary, but not verbatim.
Yeah, you know, whatever the major points are, and, you know, maybe there'll be some disagreements on what the major points are, but I mean, ultimately, I think it's, yeah, I just think we should do it consistently with however we do it. Like when I'm looking through the last meeting minutes, I see when someone comes up and gives like a kind of brief, very brief overview of what they said. I think I'm fine with that.
Okay, Councilor Henderson.
I agree with Counselor Check. I think we gotta stay pretty consistent on what we're doing. Again, I think that does, you look at just kind of summaries of our minutes, and that is consistent, and when someone comes up and they do share, it's not verbatim, but it is a summary, and so like, that's a little bit up to a discretion, maybe. But I like how we do have a little bit of a summary going on there, and I think that's nice to see as we kind of look over those minutes from meeting to meeting. It is nice to see what was talked about.
Okay. Councilor Blake.
I agree with both of the previous discussions.
Okay. Councilor Johnson.
I agree. It's always been a summary. We'd stick with it.
Okay.
Hey, just one more thing. I'm sorry. Sure. Tara Alshire, 4802. The city's minutes and agendas, that's a legal document, correct?
Correct.
Okay, I work in medical. I can't not quote what the patient tells me. If the patient comes in, we write their chief complaint. Sir, can I ask you what your chief complaint is? Well, Bob Smith says his tooth hurts. He said that it started hurting on Thursday. He said it started throbbing. Da, 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 da. You can't skip details on a legal document,
Tara,
especially when it can be used in the future.
meeting minutes are different than a patient chart.
I just asked you if it was a legal document. Legal documents are thorough, period. Period, end of story.
Meeting minutes are not a patient chart.
They're a legal document.
You know how long meeting minutes would be if we quoted everything verbatim, Tara?
I understand. You do a summary, and that's what everybody up here agreed with.
That's
And also, just before I sit down, you don't have to worry about Justin Alshire anymore. You got rid of your problem. The least you could do on his way out is give him some respect, Jamie.
I respect Justin very much. Tony, could we summarize? Great, and bring it back next time.
Yeah, I can do that.
Thank you very much. Okay, now for the consent agenda, we are looking now at just the council minutes from February 9th and executed claims. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the council minutes from the 9th as well as the executed claims.
Councilor Hendrickson has made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Councilor Jeck has made the second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Department reports. We have the utility update and reports. Who is giving that? Robin?
This is the utility update for the month of February. For sewer, I added 2 new website pages. These are for dedicated to educating the public and businesses on fat soils and grease and sanitary sewer overflows. The links to these pages can be found on the utilities page under departments, and a message will be added to the April newsletter informing the public of their availability. And this is not just people who are connected to our city sewers, but also is helpful for those who have septic systems as well. Grace Lake's I&I and Bog annual report was submitted to Resource and Renew WLSSD on Friday, February 13th, prior to the deadline. We should receive the scoring results sometime in March or early April. Utility contractor training, the 2026 training took place on Wednesday, February 11th from 9 to 10 a.m. at City Hall. There were 16 contractors in attendance. As of this writing, 7 contractor businesses have completed all requirements to work in Rice Lake for 2026, with 6 others in the process. Utility mapping. I've been working with the utility team on updating our Diamond Maps GIS system that is missing or has incorrect system information such as installation dates, pipe sizing, etc. We have made considerable progress over the past month and will continue until all necessary data is accurate and available. Prepared by myself.
Thank you, Robin. Any questions for Robin? I think we have agreed previously that we are not going to actually read through sewer and water comparison spreadsheet, but you've all had the opportunity to review it. Do you have any questions? Okay. Then we will move on to council reports. Councilor Quaid.
Councilor Johnson and I met with a small group of residents to discuss the Schultz Road Training Center site. It was a productive meeting and planning for another one for March to discuss further. And I worked with Tony Blumdahl to get our annual 2025, it's actually, or 2025 weed control report completed. That's required by the county. Just so how many miles of roads that we have, trying to educate people on invasives. That's about it for me. Although I do have something I just heard on the weekend, a good note, a happy note. Our hurlers from Duluth, from the Duluth Curling Club that took home the silver and combined. Corey and Corey girl's mother grew up in Rice Lake.
Really?
And her grandmother used to work here at the town hall. And I believe her grandfather served on the fire department. Way to go, Corey.
Very cool. That is cool.
That is neat.
All right, Councilor Hendrickson.
I was just able to go out and take a look. I think it was the last council meeting, where we had a little bit of issue on Nelson Road. Their water runoff isn't great, so unfortunately it's the winter time, so you really couldn't see how the water was gonna run off specifically. So I'll go back in the spring and take a look at that, but, you know, if you guys do have some issues on any of this stuff, we'd be happy to take a look at it and see what we can do to help out.
Okay, Councilor Jacka.
This month I attended our newly elected leader course through the League of Minnesota Cities. Completed about 8 hours of online courses and then attended a day of sessions in person. It was a great experience. It's kind of, you know, when you first start learning about things, sometimes you walk away from trainings like this with more questions than you get answers. But it kind of pointed me towards a lot of resources I can use within the League of Minnesota Cities that all of us can use if we have questions. So it was a great event. And that's all I got.
Thank you. Did you have anything, Councilor Johnson?
Yes, I did, thank you. One thing I'd like to discuss is what Lisa Walls posted on the Facebook or whatever they call it. I didn't watch it much, but I heard about it. Conflict of interest. And what I would like to discuss is during my service on council, I have inquired with the city attorney regarding any potential conflict of interest arising from my service, past or present, as well as my personal life. The city attorney confirmed that there are no conflict of interest identified. during my run for mayor, when the accusations were flying all over, I had my personal attorney review everything I did in the city of Rice Lake. And there is no conflict of interest. As the mayor knows, and our city administrator, I withdraw from a few meetings just to keep me out of there. I know better. I want everybody else to know that. Tony, can you explain the conflict of interest from the LMC website?
Yes, so conflict of interest is when a council member has a direct financial benefit from whether it's a contract that's awarded or an agreement. But they have to have a direct financial benefit from something that is before them that they would need to abstain from voting on.
Yeah, I have plenty to talk about, but the best one was on Sunday. Yvette and I went to the new Dollar General. And, I'm like, oh, whatever, I don't wanna go there, but we went there and, that was a really nice place. They have everything you can need in a small community. They're open 7 days a week. I'd say everybody, just go and take a visit. 'Cause we did fill a couple bags.
I've been meaning to, I haven't made it there yet.
So that's the fun stuff in Rice Lake is looking at new businesses and everything. So
Okay,
that's it.
all right, then let's move on to new business. St. Louis County Hazard Mitigation Plan update. Tony, anything on this you wanna talk about?
This was something that, the county requires all communities, if they want to participate in the county hazard mitigation plan, that we put this notice out there. So it's just another effort to let people know that they are working on updating their plan and they are looking for public input. So they're encouraging everybody to go on, scan the QR code and, give them your feedback on their emergency management and response plan.
Is there an opportunity to maybe post this on our city?
It's there.
It is there, thank you, and maybe in the newspaper. Thanks,
It's also posted outside on the posting board.
or, perfect, thank you.
All right. SEH Design Engineering for Sewer and Water. For 2026, we will be doing a motion on this. Tony?
So I'll just kind of read through my, agenda item report that I prepared. Rice Lake is trying to be proactive with sewer and water main extensions in and around the Rice Lake Corridor project prior to the county doing the road work in 2027 to 2029. SEH has provided us with some preliminary numbers for these extensions, and we do have a state bonding request for $3.8 million for these projects that we'll be lobbying for this legislative session. And we would like to get started on the preliminary design work for these extensions, so we will be closer to shovel ready if and when we receive state or federal funding for it. The preliminary costs may be recouped through the bonding money or additional grants we may receive, or by connection and trunk fees from new users on our utility system. So I would recommend that we borrow from our communication tower fund for this initial cost, and then we can reimburse that account for if we get the grant money. The communication tower fund currently has a balance of $1,134,000 in there. And the agreement with SEH is in the amount of $24,740 for the preliminary design.
Okay. Basically, what we're looking at here is we need to get some sewer and water done before the Rice Lake corridor work begins, so that we are not ripping up blacktop down the road, putting this stuff in. The first step to getting that is a plan on how to do it, and that's what SEH is going to do. one of the things that is going to be happening in March when a few of us go down to the council or to the Capitol is lobbying for that 3.8 million. Tony, have we applied for the Stagger one as well?
No, not yet, but that is,
Okay, you've got until March 6th.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
So we are hopeful that we're gonna be getting the money to do this. But all the money doesn't do anything for us. We don't have a plan. So that's what this plan is, and that's why it's important that we do it now. Any questions, council?
So this the comm tower money, let's say we borrow this 27,000 from it. Or sorry, 2,500 basically. So we borrow it from it and then we don't get the bond. Does that put us in a situation? I mean, what is this? What is the need for this money in the near future?
Historically, the communication tower is where we put our revenue from cell tower leases. The intention behind that was we would put it into that account for utility projects, primarily replacing the water tower when time comes that we need to have that done. There's really no way we would be able to save up enough money to actually pay cash to replace the water tower. So that's going to be a project that will have to be bonded for anyways. So this money has kind of been spooled away for utility projects.
So if we don't get the bond, the impact would be potentially a slightly larger bond down below.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, and with this being, saving us money by doing this infrastructure work, you know, kind of in conjunction with the corridor project, I would support this motion.
Anyone else have comments up there?
Well, $24,740. Even if we don't receive a bond this year, at least the plan is still done.
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to move forward one way or another. We'll have the plan in place. I think it's well spent.
There's no more conversation. I'll look for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the agreement discussed with SEH in the amount of $24,740 for the preliminary design of the sewer and water main extensions around the Rice Lake Corridor project.
Councilor Jeff has made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Councilor Quaid has made the second. Are there any comments from the audience? Okay. Then all in favor, say aye. Aye.
All the same.
Opposed? Okay. Motion carries. Counselor Johnson has abstained. Regional Safety Group. Carly, I think this is probably you, correct?
Yep, so I recently found, when kind of just looking at the flow and how we handle our safety committee meetings and, our annual safety trainings. I was looking at LMC and found that, there's a regional safety group program. So I think we've looked into this previously, but it didn't really go any further. We've just been handling it in-house. And so I did reach out and talk to a really nice lady at the league who sent us a ton of information, and reached out to the Lake Superior RSG Regional Safety Group, which is Proctor, Barnum, Carlton, and Scanlon. And they meet 6 times a year to complete required trainings and then conduct regional safety committee meetings. And it just seemed like that in and of itself seemed like a great resource to just network with these other communities.
But then you also get, this NeoGov online training, so like e-learning for some of the very simple trainings, they could just be, we just send out an e-learning module. And we have as many accesses as we need, so every employee, firefighter, counselor can have an account to do those trainings that way. And then the SDS access is the one that I think is super exciting, just because I've maintained these since I've been here, or tried to. And that's our safety data sheets. Right now, we have binders of them. We keep paperless, we keep it electronic as well, but then we have them in binders for easy access at each of our locations. This would actually be a tool that would be accessible in the field, on your smartphone, computer, tablet, whatever. It's a website or a cloud where all of this information would be stored and far more easily accessible, stay updated more frequently as well. So, the cost is split between, right now, 4 cities, and between the 4 cities, $709.45 per city. With us joining, the cost would be split between 5 cities, so estimated cost is $567.57. And they actually told me that we missed their first training for this year. We're a little late to the party, but they'll take off that one meeting, so it would be a little bit less than this even for 2026.
So that 567 is for the whole year?
Yeah.
For 6 meetings?
And
So less than $100 a meeting?
yeah, and this online access, all these online tools.
What are we currently?
We are handling it all in-house. So, and we hire third-party vendors to do the training.
And what does that cost us?
More than $567.60.
That's what I was thinking.
So, and staff, not counting staff time for just managing and implementing and doing, planning and hosting the training that we do in-house. It's a no-brainer to me.
Is this already in the budget then too, like for your training budget?
Yeah, it's well within the training budget for everybody.
Have you had a chance to like look at any of the trainings? Do you think they're gonna be of a like higher or equal quality to what we do currently?
The actual in-person trainings that are done, the 6 trainings that will be done throughout the year are actually hosted by MMUA, or done by MMUA, the Minnesota Municipal Utilities Association. And they're, the guy who's in charge of it is Adam Chesney. He actually lives in Rice Lake, I guess, or somewhere close by. So it's a professional training. So yes, it's better.
And we do actually, so all of our, safety policies that we have adopted so far, based on OSHA's guidance and LMC's guidance, have actually all come from the MMUA. So they're kind of the people that drive most of the safety training for municipalities and utilities.
So really, it's all of the things we're already doing, but streamlined and much more efficient and better quality, I think.
And cheaper.
Yeah, it's kind of, it's not like it's way cheaper,
Yeah,
but
kind
it's,
of a wash.
yeah.
Any other comments or questions?
I would like to commend Carly for finding this. This is, awesome information, because I'm always saying, hey, we gotta get an aware program. We need all this. And Carly was just promoted to our safety director, and you jumped right on this, and I appreciate that. So this is very good for the city. I've always talked about this, and to see it come to life at that cost is really good for us all.
Yeah, I was thinking it was $567 a meeting when I read through this earlier today. Wow. Okay. Any further discussion, council? Then I will look for a motion.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 2611, authorizing joining the Lake Superior Regional Safety Group.
Counselor Johnson has made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Counselor Jecka has made the second. Any comments or questions? Yes, Sarah.
Tara Alshire, 4802 Road. Can you just elaborate what kind of safe, I mean, is this CPR? I saw SDS and I get that because SDS portfolios are huge. But I just, what is this? I mean, what kind of safety? Is this like training safety for all departments? Is this CPR or can you just tell me?
Yeah, this is the annual required OSHA safety training for all departments, MinOSHA. So,
Okay,
it's the Minnesota required safety training that's been being done.
once, like an annual.
Some of them are annual, there's a breakout. Some aware training is annual, PPE, like hearing and things like that is annual.
Okay.
So different things have different requirements.
Okay.
Depending on what it is. CPR is not one of them. CPR is not a required.
But this
safety
isn't like
training.
safety training in the departments. This is just an overall requirement. from the-
Citywide.
Citywide. Okay.
Statewide, really.
That's all I was curious. about.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion passes. Ziegler repair estimate for the Caterpillar. Shane, I would imagine this is you.
Yeah, there's two pieces to this maintenance, request. One is for the fuel injectors and the other one is for the replacement of the diesel particulate filter, DPF. Which is normally required to be replaced right around 5,000 hour marker, which we're just about hitting right now. And starting to have minor issues that are starting to pop up. And then the fuel injectors, would like to replace all 6 of them. We've been previously getting reman fuel injectors, which aren't lasting very long, and it's continuously having to be, down and have them replaced. So it'd be worth the money to upgrade to get the actual brand new injectors. Once the DPF system is fully plugged, obviously then the grader loses power and you basically can't use it anymore at that point. The injectors, you have it up there, okay. Yeah, the price for the injectors is $7,191.07. Each one of them get the replacement harness, for a total of $901.98. The total for the DPF system is the $4,584.37. And then the mechanic's drive time from Ziegler to the shop would be $160 for a total of $12,837.42. There is money in I put the, account there for the money where it would come out. The vehicle maintenance repair.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was going to be my first question.
Is there any other questions about it or?
I don't know enough about this to ask you any questions. Guys, I'm gonna count on you.
The DPF basically just collects all the soot and everything in the exhaust and then it burns it. It's part of the DEF system. And that over time that it plugs up. It'll happen a lot quicker on graders and machines that sit in idle, will have idle times. They burn off when the machine is on top, full idle, working RPMs.
Council, do you have any questions for Shane?
I'd just like to make a statement. This is a critical repair. We can't have this machine go down. What is our time frame of the repair? And hopefully not during a blizzard.
Well, once it's approved, they have to order parts to, I can get you that answer.
So are we talking about, can we still use the grader right now, or should we not be using it?
No, we can still use it right now. It's approaching it. It's gonna be real urgent here to come. Probably a month or two, about 2 at max.
So
So
we
I'd say
don't
a
need to
month.
worry about messing it up by using it now.
No, not currently.
The grader will tell you when it's time, and we don't want
We
that.
can't lose that.
So I like the approach here.
How long did it take us to approach 5,000 hours on this machine? Just curious for future reference.
I'd have to get the beginning lifespan of it. It came from Duluth. It was, at least, I believe we purchased it correctly.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Then I'll look for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the repairs to the Caterpillar 12M3 Raider through Ziegler.
Counselor Hendrickson has made the motion. I need a second.
I'll support.
Counselor Quaid has made the second. Any comments from the audience?
Just out of curiosity, or Teresa Quaidla, 5189 Howard Eason Road. Out of curiosity, do we have a contract with Ziegler? Or have we looked at other bids?
Shane?
No, we do not have a current contract with them. For some of the newer equipment that we do not own, is leased, we're under a maintenance agreement with them. It's on that. Go ahead.
I'm just curious if we could, if not under contract, because I understand how that works. If we could search out another bid, maybe we could save some money somehow. Thank you.
Thank you. Shane, thoughts on that?
We can do it and get her an answer, no problem.
Shane, do we have a maintenance agreement with Ziegler?
For most of our equipment, we do, yes.
Do we have it for the grader?
I think he said no.
Well, we have a PM level maintenance agreement. I'd have to confirm if this is on that falls into that category.
No, it doesn't, but I wanted to answer Teresa saying, yes, we do have a maintenance agreement on all CAT equipment.
Okay.
And to veer off the CAT equipment and have someone else do it, it's not wise.
Why?
Ziegler provides service for Caterpillar equipment. We have Caterpillar equipment, and we want to carry that warranty.
What does it
Stay
hurt?
with the dealer.
What does it hurt to get another bid? It's taxpayer money,
That is true.
and they're
But the-
qualified, they're supposed to be qualified, and I'm sure their work is under some type of warranty.
Ziegler should take care of the Caterpillar equipment. And I'm pretty, I have all CAT equipment except one piece. And when Ziegler repairs it and there's any issues, they're there immediately. They have the best service in northern Minnesota. And with the grader, you don't want to take any risk on having someone else that is not qualified, like Ziegler is.
They have to be qualified to work on this equipment. I'm sure they're certified. That's gonna shut this off.
Thank you, Chair.
It doesn't make sense. I've stated my question was, can we get another bid to save taxpayers' money from a qualified reputable dealership?
Shane will take a look at getting another bid. This is critical. And we can't lose sight of it. So
Okay, Shane. Get another bid. But let's bring this back in 2 weeks so that it's not, we're not waiting.
Mayor, this is critical and we can bring it back in 2 weeks. But if we have a breakdown, I would like to approve not to exceed the 12,837 in case this machine goes down tomorrow. We can't be waiting for 2 weeks.
What would be our protocol, Tony, if it went down and we didn't have a council meeting for 2 weeks? Would this be an emergency expenditure?
It would be, yes, so it would fall under the purchasing policy where Shane would just have to get approval from the,
From the liaison, yeah, the council liaison. How about this? Shane will get another estimate. But tonight, let's approve the repairs for the amount up to 12,837.42. And if his estimate from another vendor comes in higher, we just move forward. If it comes in under, then we need to take a look at it.
I'll do that.
All right,
I'm okay with that.
all right. So let's make the motion for the repair cost up to $12,837.42. Unless the other quote comes in less. I'll look for motion. An amended motion.
I'll make an amended motion. Amended motion.
Amended motion?
Amended motion to approve, repairs on that cat for $12,800, not to exceed $12,837.42. Given that there is another quote that comes in about that. If it is below that amount, then we should bring this back to council and look at it.
Good motion by Counselor Hendrickson. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Counselor Johnson has the second. Are there any further comments from the audience? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
I-
Opposed? Motion passes. Second readings. All of these will need a motion and a vote. We discussed all three items at our meeting 2 weeks ago. So hopefully this will go pretty quickly.
oh, sorry.
I was just going to say 2026 sewer and water budget.
Yeah, there was one item on here that was highlighted last time.
Yeah.
That we did fill in with the amount of $8,000 was a rough estimate of what we got for that. Frost free
Rough end.
roof vent
Okay,
water tower, so
okay.
that was updated on here.
Any comments or questions from council on this? Then I'll look for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2026 sewer and water budget.
Counselor Johnson has made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Counselor White has made the second. Any comments from the audience? Okay, all in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Data practices policy. We have 2 of them there. Can we put all 3 of these things in one? Okay. So we have the data practices policy for public. We have the data practices policy for subjects. And we have the general fee schedule. And I noticed that only changes on that is we now have some pricing on USB drives if necessary for a data request. USB drive up to 16 gigabytes, is that correct? Gigabytes? I learned it. $5. USB drive 16 gigabytes to 64 is $10. So we will wrap all of those into one. Any comments or questions from the council on the data practices policy for public or for subject?
So I took a look at this one over the past 2 weeks and this, what we have here is like boilerplate from the state, it looks like. Is that correct? Correct. So I feel comfortable that this is in accordance with all the latest statutes and
Okay. Anyone else? Then I'll look for a motion.
I'll make a motion to support, data practices policy, all three of them listed.
The two policies and the fee schedule?
Yes.
Okay. Counselor Quinn has made the motion. Do we have a second?
I'll support.
Counselor Hendrickson has seconded. Comments? Yeah.
Just really quick, the USB drives, I remember Tony saying that she was guided to say nothing that they don't know of goes in their computers. Does that mean every time you have to purchase a new USB, or if you had the, you know what I mean? Like, once I take it home, it could have exposure. So does that mean if somebody's getting USB, they're getting a new one every time?
I would assume that was what you meant, correct?
That's correct.
Yes.
I just wanted to make sure that's clear because that, and then where does the $500 deposit?
That was in the old policy. That is not in this policy.
Okay. I don't remember ever seeing it, so. And then, just with the public and the subjects, the public descriptions are more or less saying that when you're accessing data, I forgot where it says, but it basically says like any data that the city has, and then the subject is more for when you're accessing data for yourself. Is that correct?
Correct. Yep.
Okay, I just want to make sure I'm clear.
And yet, when you are the subject of the.
When you are the
data.
subject, you are the you, and then the public is any data that, physical data you guys have, correct?
That you are not the subject of.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Any other comments? Okay, then we will vote. All in favor, say aye.
I,
Opposed? Motion passes. Deferred assessments. So you want to just give us a brief rundown on this one again? Sure. Yeah, just a refresher.
And I did also add in, I found the, I will go through the, so this is in reference to the, 2008 West Calvary Road, Rice Lake Road utility project that went into effect. The assessment was placed on all developed properties along the route for $20,556.20. We did a few deferrals based on the special assessment deferment policy that we adopted, which also follows state statute for this. And so we did have one resident who was inquiring because the balance is now $39,416.68. So just kind of wondering what her options were. So I did also add in this time the resolution I found that actually deferred the assessments. Where in here it said, look at B there. That the deferred special assessment is subject to and charge simple interest at the prevailing rate at the time the assessment was originally levied. Said interest shall be payable upon termination of the deferral status. I did some digging in the state statute and there's a few, it said assessments cannot exceed 30 years. I did look to see if there's really anything in there that talks about this type of situation. And really what it boils down to is it depends on what, at this time it was the town board back in 2008, whatever the town board put in the resolutions that allowed the deferment at the time. So based on everything that I was digging into, I found yet one more resolution that was recorded on the property that, sorry, is not in your packet for tonight, but there was something in here saying that the deferred principal and interest shall be payable within 60 days after loss of eligibility of applicant. So again, that on death of owner, transfer of property. If it is not paid within that 60 days, a interest rate of 2% above the deferred interest, and the total amount of principal and interest shall be certified to the county auditor for collection with taxes the following year. And then there was one more caveat in here that should the applicant demonstrate to the satisfaction of the town board that full repayment of the deferred special assessment would cause the applicant particular undue financial hardship, Then the town board may order that the applicant pay within 60 days a sum equal to the number of installments of deferred special assessment outstanding and unpaid to date, including principal and interest, with the balance thereafter payable according to the terms and conditions of the original adopted assessment. So when I'm reading through this, I mean, that last part, if they lost their deferral status 10 years ago, that really would come into play. There's only 2 years left on this assessment, so we could, in essence, give them a year to pay it all back instead of the 60 days, that's what's noted in here, but.
Okay, but the woman that has written the letter to us, she's not ever gonna have to pay that until she dies and they sell the house, or she sells the house.
Correct, yes.
So why is she so worried?
I don't really know. I think it's just, I mean, it is a lien against their property, so I don't know if that's the basis for the concern. But yeah, she will in essence never have to pay that out of pocket.
Right. Do you think if we made that clear to her, it would ease her mind a bit?
It might, yeah, I can certainly explain that all to her.
I think she's just trying to get her ducks in a row for her daughter, to take over the house. Is that-
Granddaughter.
Okay.
Yeah, but her granddaughter will be getting a house for not that much money.
Yeah.
If all she's gotta pay is this assessment.
That's true, and we can't give any discounts because we have 2 to 3 members in the audience here that have paid that in full.
Right.
And I don't want them to come up and
Yeah,
slap our faces, so we gotta just stay to what we wrote
I agree.
and just let her know that.
Agreed.
Do we all think that way?
That's really good.
Then let's look at a motion. Don't all rush at one time now.
Is a motion just to continue the deferred assessments? I mean, she's got paid in when she sells, right? We just continue to keep going down this road officially.
To not pass this resolution. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's actually in bold,
Oh,
the original
okay,
resolution,
okay,
so.
that's what you have.
Basically, we're looking to deny her request
Okay.
that we abate any amount of this assessment. That's the motion we're looking for. You want that motion?
What, could we add on to it that, maybe someone from the city will reach out and just explain to her that, you know, this can be part of the value of the house when she sells it or whatnot, so she's not stressing out about it?
I don't think that needs to be a motion, but I think, yes, we should do
Okay.
that.
Anyone aware of this?
But using Jamie's words, to deny the request to abate any amount of this assessment.
I will make a motion to deny abating any amount of this assessment.
Counselor Jeff has made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Counselor Hendrickson has seconded. Any comments from the audience? Okay, we'll take a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Tony, we have no unfinished business, correct? Then all that is left is the meeting calendar. Community talks on March 2nd have been canceled due to some conflicts in scheduling. There is the community club meeting Wednesday, the 4th at 6:30. First council meeting is the 9th at 6. At noon is the State of the City's luncheon at Blackwoods Grill in Proctor. Tony and I will be attending that. I will be talking about things that are going on in Rice Lake and our hope to get 3.8 million from the state. The 17th is planning and zoning here at City Hall, 6 o'clock. 18th and 19th are St. Louis County Days down in St. Paul. I know Tony and I are going. Counselor Johnson, did you still plan on coming?
Yes.
Any of the rest of you coming to that? All right, we'll try and do you proud. Try and get some money. But Wednesday night, the 18th is NIC meeting. And the 19th at 6:30 is the DAB meeting. Where is that to be held?
I think she just sent out an email. Did everybody get an email from,
I didn't notice it if I did.
it is at the 911 communication center.
Oh, yes, I did see that.
Okay.
Yep.
I just wanted to make sure she had everybody.
All right, the 23rd is our second council meeting at 6 o'clock. And on the 30th is WLSSD at WLSSD at 5. Anything we're missing on that? All right. Then business is concluded. I'll look for a motion to adjourn.
So